It's Brenda Miller, and I'm a Stampin' Up! Demonstrator in Basking Ridge, New Jersey. And I go live every Wednesday to share with you some of the projects that I'm working on and Stampin' Up! Specials and all that kind of stuff. And today we are making a Halloween card. We made this card in my Stamp Stack classes last weekend, and I think they were a big hit. And I hope that you find that it would be a fun project for you to make. So let's go ahead and take a look. So here is a fun card. It is inspired by Dawn Olszewski. She made something kind of similar, or pretty similar, but I tweaked it for my purposes. And this designer series paper is called Spooky and Sweet. And it is a specialty paper because it has a whole bunch of die cuts that are included. Now, we did not use the die cuts today, but we've used them previously. But it also has some great designer series paper, and that's what I'm going to use for this project. Now, I did want to point out that the stamp set that I've used is one that's not available in the catalog, but it came with one of our kits. Now, I cannot remember if it was a paper pumpkin kit or one of the project kits that we have, but I just, wanted to point out that I save these so that I can have just the right sentiment when the time comes. And they're so easy to store. I just keep them all in just one box. And when I find that I need something in particular that I don't have otherwise available, I just sort through that box super quickly, and I usually find what I need. So that's where the Happy Halloween is coming from. Okay, so let's go ahead and make the card. So I've done some of the work in advance so that we could, make the best use of our time. But we're going to start with our, this is pumpkin pie cardstock, and we're going to fold it and give it a nice crease with our bone folder. Whoopsie. And there we go. So we've got that. Now, the first thing I like to do, just to make sure I get it right, is I'm going to stamp. I'm going to stamp at the bottom of the front of the card, and I'm using my Memento Tuxedo Black ink. And this is a nice pad because, first of all, the black really holds. Now, if you're looking for a black pad from Stampin' Up does not make their own. We have not had good luck with the way that our black inks have worked over the years, and so we've gone to using and selling the Memento brand Tuxedo Black ink and the refills. So that's what I use. So you can see I'm going to put it. I'm actually going to take a little break, get my glasses out. Should have put them on earlier so that I can see what I'm doing. And I'm putting it right in the bottom right corner. So it says Happy Halloween. Now, if you don't have a Happy Halloween stamp, okay, this card kind of speaks for itself, but I like that Happy Halloween because I have one. So I'm going to take now my basic black cardstock, and I'm going to add it to my card front. And it looks like I'm a little shy on this one, so I'm gonna show you what to do with that as well. So every so often, at least when I'm cutting with my cutter, I find that fractions of an inch can be off, and I don't know why, but lately I kind of I've been cutting a lot of paper, so that probably is the reason. So what I'm going to do is make sure that I'm going all the way to my right edge because I've already stamped my Happy Halloween, okay? And if I find, like I did here, that I have a little bit of an edge, I can come in with my paper trimmer and just chop that right off, and nobody's going to be any the wiser. That is like less than a 16th of an inch. And like I said, sometimes it happens, and I don't know why, but lately I feel like I've been a little bit off. But when I shave that off, maybe I could do a little bit better than that, right? So, nothing is not fixable, right? You can always find a way to fix things. So here we go. We've got that. And now that we have that, we're going to take our designer series paper. Now this comes from a sheet of 12 by 12 paper, and here's what it looks like on the other side. So this is a nice neutral to balance out if you're using a different piece of paper, but I have this cut so that it's a little bit smaller than our black mat. Now I could have mounted this on the mat first and then added it to the card, But for this, I'm doing it this way. All right. So I'm leaving a little border all the way around. And there we go. Now that's cute even just by itself because we've got some spooky things in the windows, right? But we're going to take our dies. Now check these out. These are the party alphabet dies. Thank you to my downline Lois for letting me borrow them. I can't have everything, and when she makes the big purchases like this, I take advantage and borrow. So sharing is definitely encouraged, right? Because it is. There's a lot of stuff out there, but you can see just how big that these are. And I've gone ahead and I've cut out the B, and then I've cut out two O's. And I'm going to tell you something. I took the O and I cut two at the same time. So a lot of times when we're using a thinlet, and when I say thinlet, I'm saying something that is more solid, okay? So this image is a solid image. Then you can get away with doing two pieces of cardstock at once. And if you're using designer series paper, sometimes you can even use three, although that might be pushing it. But that is something that you can consider doing, and it certainly saves time, especially because we're making this same card in some of my upcoming classes. So I've been cutting boos out like a crazy person because I have to give Lois back her die set. So anyway, that's where I got the boo from. And so I forgot to put this on the inside. Usually I do this first. And let me get this out of the way. I hate having my white cardstock hanging around because it's so easy to drop a stamp or accidentally get ink or tear something that when you've got white paper around. It's like wearing a white shirt. You know that if you eat, that you don't eat pasta when you have a white shirt on, right? At least I don't. Just never fails that, or you don't cook anything with tomato sauce, right? Never fails. I get some on me. Okay, so we want this to stand out a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and take our dimensionals. We have a fresh sheet here. That never happens, right? Okay, and I'm just going to put two on each, kind of one. I'm looking for the widest part of the letters so that it doesn't show through. And just just to balance it, I'm putting it like that. And then one thing I noticed I've been doing, oh, look. When I put this one on, you can see the pumpkin through the window. That was just a fortuitous lucky thing, right? So look at that. How fun is that? And then the O's, I'm going to also put two on each. And one thing I noticed, and I was doing some other videos recently, is that every time I put down my dimensional, I stick my thumbnail into the center of it. And I guess that's just become my habit, and I didn't even know I was doing it. But when you put your thumbnail in, look how easily these pop right off the backing. So anyway, little tip that I just learned. Now I know that I want to alternate the letters so that they bounce around, right? So the one on this side is also going to, tip off to, on a jaw D angle, right, off to the left side. And then I'm going to take my last O and do the same thing, except I'm going to put it in the middle, and it's going to face the other direction. So see, I did it again. I just do it automatically. Like I said, I didn't even notice I was doing it, but fun new tip that I'm going to share now that I've noticed it. And you can see, whoop, and put that off to this angle. So yeah, how fun is that, right? Let me just check over here, see if anybody's out there. All right, so then I'm going to use my sparkling stars, shimmering stars, I believe they're called. Look how fun they are. Now they come in three colors. We have black, we have white, and then it also comes with a petunia pop color. And I try to use everything that comes in a package, or as many as I can. So we're using the black and the white, and I'm using a black one down at the bottom. And then I don't want to use black on the black, even though you might be able to see it, but I'm going to go ahead and use white. And so you can see I'm just kind of scattering them. I'm making that triangle. This one is a broader triangle. You can see, so here's my visual triangle, right? So I've got my stars. And friends, that is the card, and it's so simple, and if it's well worth getting the giant alphabet. And I'm going to show you another card that we'll be making in my upcoming Zoom card class. I have 4 kits left for that. That is going to be held on the 28th at 7 p.m. Eastern Time. But look at how I used letters as well to make this Christmas card. We have joy, and instead of making them jaunty, I put them straight, and we've got a ornament in the middle, well, crooked, or at least on camera. There we go. And yeah, I'm just loving this card. And if you are interested in making 2 of these cards, and as well as 4 others to each of 2 other designs, just let me know, and we'll with a $25 purchase, the card kit is free. Otherwise, the class is $18, and so that is what's coming up. And these letters are pre-cut for you because that's what I'm doing. I cut them. But anyway, happy Halloween early. You can get these made really quickly. You saw how quick that was. And you use that designer series paper. And thank you for joining me today. And I will see you the next time. Bye-bye.